Hello and welcome to Workplace at the River, where we empower lives at the workplace. My name is Joel and I'm part of the team at Workplace at the River, and I'd like to welcome you to our COVID-19 survival series, talks that will help you thrive at the workplace. We would like to go straight into our talk, for all of you here, I'd like to welcome you back after the long weekend, the long Raya break. I trust you've had a good rest, a good time with family because of CMCO. But we would like to start this talk with a simple icebreaker. All right, so log on to menti.com, key in the code that you see on the screen, and give us some feedback, and I'll join you shortly. See you soon. Thank you for joining us in that activity. It's good to know that many of you here are either in both of the click and mortar and brick and mortar business. I think that's a good way to continue on. But I trust that all of you want to know more about this business world and how to leverage the online business. And for that, I'd like to introduce our speaker. But before I introduce the speaker, let me remind us that if you've got any questions, you can log on to the link on screen, tiny.cc/askwater, and you can ask your questions to the speaker at any point of time. Drop them into this link. You can either be anonymous or you can choose to put down your name so that the speaker can address you personally. And without further ado, let us invite Jedidiah Alex Koh, who is an exponential coach with MCC, and he's also the founder of Coaching Changes Lives. Let's welcome him.
What do we do when things don't happen the way it should? What do we do when pandemics happen? What do we do when we are faced with certain struggles with our business and business doesn't seem to be going the way it should? Well, what can we do today in today's space, especially when most of us are either have to change or forced to change our very business model that we used to be working? What can we do in today's economy? And right now, in this episode, we're going to figure out how do we change that? How do we help ourselves? How do we actually prepare ourselves or even actually pivot our businesses to really get to where it should be, right? So thanks so much for tuning in today. My name is Jedi and I'm here to be with you because I'm going to be sharing with you some secrets and some key strategies that are going to be practical, that's going to be really helpful for you. Well, I'm the founder of Coaching Changes Lives, and in Coaching Changes Lives, we really help coaches, businesses, organizations to really grow and exponentially discover more about how they can actually use the power of online platforms, power of online spaces, and even the live online blends to really help them to grow their business. Now, we are a coaching company and we're really focusing on helping organizations to grow and scale up their businesses and to leverage opportunities that are around us. Now, and what I want to do is to share with you, all of us, is this: something practical, something useful that you can use in every single day of life, right? So if you're thinking about this right now, when you're thinking about how to leverage the online platform, this is going to be something going to be really useful for you. It's not going to be another, gurus out there. It's not going to be another marketer that tells you you should go and set up for this funnel, you can get that funnel, you should go and do this, you can do that. No. We're going to be talking about real strategies. We're going to be talking about real practical things that's going to be really helping you effect your change in your business. So in this title, I'm going to talk about this title. It's called Leverage the Online Space for Your Business Growth. So when we think about leveraging the online space, most of us think of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, right? But there's actually much more. The space on the online platform, it's not just Facebook, it's not just Google. There's so many other space online. So whether you're a brick and mortar business, whatever business you're in, whether brick and mortar, maybe you are a retailer, maybe you're from a hotel business or small business, or maybe you're an entrepreneur thinking of what to start up, or maybe you have a business and maybe you're trying to figure a new business to get into. And in this episode, we're going to figure out what should we do, how should we consider this, how should we price things, how do we pivot? How do we actually begin to get our message out? Should we go and do branding first? Should we do that first? How do we take the steps forward? So we're going to debunk some of these myths there, and we're going to help you to discover what is it that's going to be helpful for you in this season, in these times. So I'm going to be sharing you some really practical tips that I think is going to be very, very useful for you, because I've helped many people in this space as well. And by no means these are exhaustive, and also it's also going to be contextual for your organization, for your business practice, and what do you really want. So I'm going to share with you 5 different strategies that's going to be practical that you can implement today. Let's take a look at some of these practice. Number 1, I like to approach business by first thinking about, always think about what do you want. Always think about and be clear about what you want for yourself. First for yourself, and then for your business. What is it that you want for yourself? In this season, many of us, when we look online, and there's so many different ads that's blasting at us all the time. You have people telling us, hey, start a business, come and sign up for my webinar. Hey, it's time to go online marketing, sign up for my webinar. Hey, it's time to bring a business on Facebook ads, do video ads, do personal branding, do this, do that, do this. So all of us are stretched in multiple directions, and we're lost, right? Should we go and spend another $2,000 on this program, $2,000 on that program, 9 and 7 on this program? So we are put apart in every single direction. And one of the things I like to do as coaching clients is to help them to be absolutely clear about what they want. Because if they're not clear about what they want, they end up going to all the different things and going nowhere. And this is something true that I've seen so many businesses doing the same mistakes again and again. Even for coaches, I've helped many coaches who start their own individual business as well, whether it's a solopreneur business or a small little business, where they're coaching for health coaching, fitness coaching, or in different fields of coaching as well, leadership coaching, team coaching. However, one of the common mistakes that I see happening all the time is they chase that little golden nugget, they chase that golden or I say the shiny unicorn, right? So when they see the unicorn there, oh, okay, internet marketing is the next thing, let's go to internet marketing. Oh, e-commerce is the next thing, let's go e-commerce. Oh, dropshipping is the next thing, let's go dropshipping. Now, all these things are good, by itself, but we got to figure first, what is the number 1 thing that you want for yourself? What is most important for you? So take a pen and paper right now, write down what is most important for you. Is it money? Is it more time with your family? Is it relationship? Is it purpose? Is it a fulfillment, a calling, a destiny? What is it that really matters to you first? So the first question, write yourself, what really matters to you? What is it that you really want for yourself? Right? Write down the most selfish reason for yourself. Maybe it's for you to get more fame. So many of us, right, we ask any young people in this category. So research was done by asking the young people in this category and say, hey, young people, what do you want as they're graduating? So the common things that all of them say, 80% of them say, I want more money. Right? And the second thing, 50% out of the 80% they say, oh, I want more fame. So fame and riches are what most of them want at a young age. But as they grow older, they begin to realize it's not about money. I can gain the world, but I lose my soul. I may have everything, but I may lose the very process and enjoy life that it should be. So perhaps, what is your highest intention? What is your highest purpose? What is your highest value? What's your highest principle for yourself? And to me, a principle-based business will last through the times, regardless. We don't want to be a business that sets up today, we cash in for today, and then tomorrow, we get a bad reputation because we're just there to make a transaction. I believe that businesses are here to stay for long haul, and it's not based on transaction, but it's based on a relationship that is transformational over time. Think about those great businesses that's been around for years and years and decades. Businesses like Disney, they've built a relationship with us. It's a transformational relationship, not a transactional relationship. Think about smaller businesses, other businesses that come and go, right? Some of these so-called gurus that came online, then they disappear for a while. They came online, disappear for a while. So do we want to be the kind of businesses, or do we want to be a business that has a legacy that we leave behind? Or what is it that we really want? So the first question that's going to be the toughest question to answer is, what is it that you want for yourself? Not your business, but for yourself first, right? Maybe money is the most important for you right now. It's okay. It can be one of your values. But what is above money? What do you hope money will bring you? Would money give you more health? Would money give you more wealth? Would money give you more happiness? Would money give you more freedom? What is it that you're really looking for, right? So, and some of us think, okay, all of us must make $1 million. Well, not quite, right? I would say always live according to your means, right? Or live under your means. But always be prudent. You may make $1 million, but you may spend $1 million, right? Or you may make $10,000, but you may be living below $10,000 because why? Because you really don't need all the asset materials. You can be enjoying life just as it is. Do we need to have McDonald's every single day? No. Sometimes just simple food like rice, vegetables, some meat. We're happy with day-to-day life. So what is it that you really want? Get clear on that. Number one. The second thing, what is it that you want for your business? What is it that you want for your business? So first is what is it you want for yourself, and second is what is it that you want for your business? Maybe right now your business is at a crossroads because of the pandemic. You're thinking, where should you go? Should you continue? Should you expand? Should you downsize? Should you cut off your staff? Or maybe you're thinking about building a new business. And so, what is it that you really want for this business? Do you want something more sustainable? Write down some principles. Write down some things you want for your business. Write down the cash value. How much income do you want your business to be making for you and for the organization? So many of us say this, I want to build $1 million business. But many of them don't have no idea about a difference between $1 million business and a profitable business. Your business may be making $1 million turnover, but in terms of its profitability margin, it's not even making money. I've met businesses before, they're making $1 million turnover every single year, right? But they are not even profitable. In fact, they are on the rates, right? They are on the rate. They're actually losing cash. They're cash flow negative. So when we think about this, I would rather have a business of $100,000 and be a cash flow positive business than a business of $1 million and be thinking about how to pay my staff, how to do this, operations. I'm in the rate all the time. So think about this. It's not about chasing the $1 million and comparing. No, it's about understanding what is it that we want for ourselves, what is it we want for the company and the organization or the business we're trying to build, and there's no shame, right? And there's no comparison. Who are we comparing with? There's no one to compare with. It's okay to build a solo business, one-person business. It's okay to build a small business of 2%, 5%. It's okay to build a 10% business. It's okay to build a 100 people business. What is it that you really want? What's your vision? That's going to be very important. So always discover and be clear about what you want. It's going to be the very first step to help you get clarity about where you're going to move forward. So before you rush forward into the online space, think about these steps first. Think about this first step before you move to the online space. The second thing you want to think about is this: being congruent with who you are and what you're doing. Being congruent with who you are and what you're doing. So I've seen many, people, entrepreneurs, they may be doing a F&B business, but because of this crisis, straight away they become internet marketers. Next wave, I'm now in the marketer. So really, really strange, right? They hop on one fad to another fad to another fad. I would say this: don't be a chaser of fads, because fads will rise and dissipate over time. Be someone who's consistent in this game. Be consistent in your game, right? Because the game is not for short term. The game is a long-term game. In the business game, it's all about long-term. And in the long term, things will be rewarded to you. We talk about the compounded effect of businesses. The compounding effect of businesses, if you stay in the game and you allow yourself to learn and change and modify and grow in the process, it's going to be really helpful for you, because you're going to know how to pivot your business in the times of crisis. In the times of crisis, it's not about closing a business and starting a new business altogether. Well, maybe some businesses you may need to consider that, but some of us may consider, hey, how can I do things different? Airlines industry, how can I do things different, right? How can I do things now that the crisis happened? how can I do things different, right? How do we pivot from there? And what is congruent with who we are and what we do? That's going to be very key, right? Many businesses, they just do things because it's transactional basis. But I would say this, avoid transaction. Think about what's congruent to you, what's congruent to your belief. Are you selling things because you just need to make a dollar, or are you selling things because it's really going to be giving value to the people? So today we talk about value exchange, that you need to sell something that is of value to the people. And I would say this, right? It's very important in the online space because words get around in the online space. Be congruent with who you are because it will show up everywhere. If you believe in a product, right, you must live it out as well. If you believe in a service, you must live it out. For example, I really believe in the power of coaching to transform lives or change lives. So how do I demonstrate that, right? In everything that I do, in my conversations, I must be congruent in that. In the way I sell, it must be congruent in that. So I'm not telling people, okay, sign up for this $97 program, then I'm going to sell you the $97 program, then I'm going to sell you the $197 program. No, that's a typical way that people do a sales funnel like that. But think about it. What is congruent to your business practice? Do you need to do that? No. I've helped businesses that help them to scale something that's for themselves, because for businesses, when they realize what they really want, sometimes it's not about having more and more sale. Sometimes it's about being happy with just 10 people. Sometimes it's about being happy with just the income stream that they're making for themselves. The day we start chasing the wrong goal, the day we start chasing the wrong unicorn, will be the day that we become stressed, become burnout, we become our passions dissipate at all, right? So be very careful of what is your end goal as well. Be very careful about where you want and keep your focus on that. Don't get distracted by the shiny objects everywhere around us, right? Yes, people may grow, yes, it may change, right? But be very careful and be always principle based, be congruent with yourself and what you truly believe in your heart. The third thing is for you to consider a space that serves your business well. A space that serves your business well. In the online space, there's so many different platforms you can get on. You can be on the space on Facebook, right? You can create I've seen businesses fully on Facebook alone, nothing else. Some of them with Facebook ads, some of them with no ads at all, just by word of mouth, building a community, and they're selling there, right? They're making a profitable business there. Some of them with no products, just a service, they're able to sell on Instagram. I've seen people do it on TikTok as well. See people do it on Snapchat as well. You can do a business on any online space. When we say online space, we're saying that using a digital platform, a digital space where there's community that you can build, where there's community you can share. For example, you can use Carousel, you can use Lazada, so depending on what kind of products you're thinking of, think about the space that's going to be conveying a congruent message of your business, right? Think about the space that's going to be congruent to your message of your business. And also, you don't want to be in every space. Yes, it is good if I can have my business on Lazada, Shopee, GrabPay, WeChat, everywhere. Wow, that would be fantastic. But the big question I'm going to ask you is this, right? How many people is going to run a business? If it's just you, can you manage so many different platforms? Which platform would you rather be on? Or what is one platform that you want to be on that's going to be consistent in the platform? Where is that platform? How do you choose the platform? Well, you choose the platform that's where your customers are, right? Choose a platform where you know your customers are there first. Right? For example, if you're not sure, let's say you're starting with a brand new business and you're not sure whether that platform will be where your clients are at, don't worry, right? So just explore that. Think about, ask your clients to think about, okay, if you were one person that's going to purchase that product or the service from you, where would you be? Where do you spend most time on? What demographics are you at? For example, in Facebook, with people of above 30s, I think late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, the more senior category. If targeting the young people, well, they're on TikTok, they're on Snapchat, they're on Twitter, they're on Instagram. So that's the younger category of people. It's very easy to find where these people are. Think about what draws them to which media. That's where they are, right? And also think about this. Do we need to have video ads all the time? Do we need to have videos all the time? Well, yes and no, depending on what business you're getting into, depending on what service you're getting into. So today we say, oh, all of us must have create videos. Now, think about, you got to be congruent with what business you're creating, what business you're creating for yourself first before entering into all the space. Because for some of your business, maybe you don't need to do that at this moment. So there's seasons of a business. You've got to recognize the different seasons of a business. So understanding which season you're in now, it's going to help you to make sure you optimize your resources carefully. Many people ask me, why don't I do ads? Why don't I do more webinars or ads and everything? I said I could do that, but I always tell them I need a balance between the resource that I have now and what I'm doing with my clients, what I'm doing with my services and products as well. I don't want to stretch myself overly. I don't want to stretch my team overly. When the time is right, I will do all those things. So understanding and recognizing the different seasons in time. Well, of course, some people have an argument and say, oh no, you should accelerate your business. You should just pump in the money, invest, and yes, it's good to invest, it's good to accelerate your business, but you got to think about what's congruent to you at the end of the day, what's congruent to you and at which stage of business growth you're at currently. The next thing to consider as well is also don't jump into the next big thing. Tomorrow you'll see new ads appearing all over your feeds. Don't jump to the next new thing. Stop, take a quick pause and look back and see, is that really going to be helpful to you? Is that going to be congruent to you? Is that going to be really supporting you? Is that going to be really helpful for your business and yourself? Or are you going to be pulled in all directions? For example, today maybe Amazon FBA, tomorrow maybe drop shipping, tomorrow, the day after maybe something else, right? The day after is internet marketing, the day after maybe Facebook ads, right? So every single thing, every single market out there is shouting for your attention. My question to you is that what are you attending to? Are you attending to what they're selling you, or attending to your business? What are you preparing for your audience? What are you preparing for your customers? It doesn't matter which business you are at. Figure out what is it that you want, what is it that you're intending to sell, what is it intending to offer your audience. Is there a market for that? Would you buy such a product? If there is, do some market research, do some market survey, ask yourself, do some go on forums, check it out, whether is there demand for it. If there is, great, now you have something to work on. Then decide which space that will work best for you. You can be on Facebook, Instagram, you can be on YouTube, you can be on email, you can even be on Craigslist, on Carousel. It works well as well. I know people who build a successful business on Carousel. Do I need a website? Well, it depends on your business as well, right? You could just build a Shopify website, or maybe just a plain Wix website, or a WordPress website that will help your business as well. So every online space has its pros and benefits, but you got to think first. First is resources, second is congruence with your organizations, and third, is it sustainable for the long run? Are you able to maintain that for the long run? And the next area for you to think about is this: always expect the unexpected. Always expect the unexpected. Why? Why do I say this? Because today we may have this pandemic, tomorrow we may have something else, maybe something worse. So how do we future-proof? We can never fully future-proof, but what we can do is we can do this thing called preparation of the mind, preparation of the heart. Meaning to say that we can project out what will happen if this scenario happens. What will happen if I'm forced to change the landscape of business? What are some possible impact that could possibly change the course of my business? Maybe government policies, maybe traffic flow, maybe change of the demands, maybe taste change, maybe seasonal change, maybe supply demand change, maybe my supplies have changed, maybe my manufacturing arms has changed. What is it that's going to be your bottleneck in your business? Be very clear on that as well, right? And expect the unexpected. For example, maybe right now you think that, oh, people are going on Facebook is very well, people are going on Instagram very well, but let me tell you, it's not going to be forever. Right? It's not going to be forever. We have seen this happen in the past. In the past, you got Alta Vista, you got Yahoo, you got Bing, but today it's dominated by Google. Last time you still had Vimeo, Dailymotion, everything. I mean, they're still around, but YouTube seems to be dominating most of them. Last time you still have MySpace, we have Friendster, but today Facebook is around. Tomorrow, we do not know what will change. So online platforms, one thing is certain, online platforms will always be shifting, right? The things that we learn now may change tomorrow. Whatever you're hearing me share today may be different tomorrow. I want us to have this mindset to think of this as business owners in this 21st century, and as we move into our daily businesses, things will always change. We got to be constantly learning. The day we stop learning, the day we stop exposing ourselves and understanding different landscapes that we're in, will be the very day that things will surprise us. Now, to prevent things from surprising us, we got to be in the game. We got to be in the game to learn more, to understand more. Now, do we want to learn from a professor of business who studied the historical data of business, or do we want to learn from a practitioner, or do we want to get a coach who is in the game? And I'll tell you this, get a coach, get a mentor, get someone to help you in your business building. And you got to help you to think about what will work best for you in your organization right now, in your business. Whether you're thinking about a solopreneur business, a small business, a small company business, or maybe revitalizing your business because it's being affected by the COVID situation. So all these things really do matter. And you want some mentor that will really help you who understands the landscape that you're in, who is able to give you some insights that's going to be helping you to shift and pivot correctly in the right directions. Because at the end of the day, all of us don't have much time. We have to seize the moment. We have limited resources, we have limited time, we have limited strength and energy. We want to make sure that our strength, energy, focus are in the right direction. And so where our attention is, we'll just be really focused and keep on the course. One of the last things I will say is this, right? Maintain on the course, keep in the course, because it's going to be for long term. This process that we're doing it's not something short term, it's a long journey. And this long journey, we've got to be patient. The fruits will be there, but we've got to be patient in this journey. When I first started my business, I had many business previously as well, right? I was in the kids business, kids wear apparel business. I was in the board games business. I was in different businesses. I was trying different things, right? But I realized one thing: consistency pays off. Consistency pays off. When you get into the game, know your business really well. The person that must be an expert in the business is you. Right, you must be the expert in a business. Every single thing, understanding the products, understanding the people, understanding every single thing, every component of the business. You must be the expert in the business. So, what I will encourage you today is think about these 5 areas. A, always be clear about what you want for yourself and what you want for your business. B, be congruent with who you are and what you want. C is choosing a space that serves you and your audience well. Right, you got to find a balance for them. And D is don't jump into the next big thing. Don't jump into the next shiny object. And E, expect the unexpected. I hope these 5 principles are going to help you, practical principles are going to help you to really set the course right for your business, right? And I'll say this, don't think about, let me research more. Think about writing down the strategy right now. My goal for you at the end of this conversation that we have together is that you come up with a plan and you will take action right after this call that we have together, right after this video that you watch, that we're going to have a consistent action that we can take moving forward. Something that you can take. What's one small step you can make different for your business today? What's one small thing, one small thing you're going to shift for your business? Sometimes it's not about a big shift. What is one small step you can take today that's actionable, that is measurable, that can help you keep the momentum forward? So I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you at one of our classes, and I look forward to engaging with you. If you have any questions, I'm always open for questions. Many people always bounce ideas with me, and I'd love to engage all of us as well. So we're going to open the floor to any questions and answer, and I hope to see you and hear from you as well.
All right, thank you so much for that, Jedidiah. Yeah, it's truly a very interesting talk, very insightful. Some of the things that you've shared, yeah, very real. And just to remind all of us, if you've got any questions, please drop your questions at tiny.cc/askwater. That will be the only way you can get in touch with our speaker and ask him any questions that you have, at least for this business talk. All right. Let me just share something with all of us. Let's welcome Jedidiah one more time, because he is essentially the first international speaker that we in Workplace at the River are having, because he hails from Singapore, and he's been great to come and join us. As you know, we in Malaysia are in CMCO. In Singapore, they're having their CB, the circuit breaker. And thankfully it ends on the 1st, right? And everybody, 1st of June, and everybody goes back to work after that. Well, hopefully. All right. So we want to thank Jedidiah for being with us today, and we'd like to jump in straight into your questions. So if you've got any further questions, do drop them in the link that I mentioned earlier, and we would ask your questions. All right. We've got a bunch of questions here, Jedidiah. So you mentioned about what do I want, right? And for us in business, for those of us who are in the business world, the question is what do I want? So I think for most of us here is actually we don't want any glamorous things. The thing that we want is for our business to survive and hopefully thrive, and to even wait out this COVID-19 period. And I think the advice that we're getting is, go online, and you can survive. You will be able to live this through. But you did also mention that we should be congruent. You should be true to ourselves. We should stick with what we know, because essentially we are the ones who know our business best. So what would you say to someone who all we want is just, I want my business to survive? Yeah.
Okay, so that's a great question. I give you a few pointers to think about. Number one, it's as much as we want our business to survive, the second thing, for your business to survive, you need to thrive. By thriving, we're not saying to make millions of dollars, or billions of dollars. Really, to thrive means even in the face of fire, even in the face of challenges, even in the face of storm, how do we overcome that? So one of the things that I always help businesses in is to consider what is something that you can build into your business that makes it resilient to change. So for example, in the past, when we think about airlines industry, we think that, you will never fail, right? Maybe they'll stop for a while, but it will get back up again. But never before have we have the entire world cease flights, right, around the world, which is unprecedented. So, this word unprecedented, we have been hearing it so many times. So to me, one of the things that we've got to consider, whether is it bring our business online or offline, is to consider one of the factors. What is it? How can we build in more resilience into our business and still be true to ourselves, still be true to whatever we are providing to our customers and our users? So I give you some examples. Mums and pop shops. Today, people say, they should be all online. They should be all online. But when you see a crisis like this happen, actually they thrive the most, right? Because they are the essential stores that needs to be open. So, and they provide a very good avenue for customers who cannot travel out, or customers who cannot order online because the online portals are all jammed, and that gives them an avenue. So, to me, one of the things you consider is not just rushing into being online. A lot of ads, a lot of people are saying you need to be online if not, your business is going to go out. I would say this: there are still a lot of businesses out there that are not online, right? And you don't have to be online just because everybody go online. Some things you can reconsider is this: what kind of business are you in? Okay, so if you're in a certain kind of business, you may want to consider be online, but certain kind of business, it's still okay to be as a brick and mortar. It's still okay to be offline because you really don't need the physical presence. A B2B business, do you really need to be online? That's a consideration, right? If you're B2C or C2C business, do you need that? And what kind of business size are you looking at? And what's your growth? What are you looking at to grow? If you're looking to scale to 10 times more, 100 times more, then maybe you need to bring in the online component. But before we go there, one thing that I always talk about is, what is your goal and what's your end goal? What's your end game? where do you want your business to be in 10, 20, 30 years from now? And from there, you can look back and say, okay, if I only want my business to remain as it is, to survive, and to reach out to my community, I don't intend for it to go further than that. I'm happy where I am. Okay, great. Do you really need to go all the way out there? And because one of the consideration, one of the key consideration is this: your resources are limited. How you optimize your resources and how you are effective and efficient in using them is going to be very important. So I always say applying efficaciousness in your resources that you have now, resources in time, money, space, effort, energy, and also thinking about your long-term strategy. What's your long-term plan, and what's your plan for your business and your plan for yourself? You don't want to be running a business that burns you out and tires you out, and then you don't have time for your loved ones and family, and you're looking left and right because all the competitors are running all over. So to me, it's at the end of the day, what's congruent to your belief for you as an individual, and what do you believe for your company and organization?
All right, all right. Thank you for that, Jedidiah. Yeah, definitely. What is it that is important for your business? Don't just jump into something because there's hearsay. The best thing is hearsay right now because everybody's guess is their best bet. Um, uh, but we like to move on with the questions, and probably along the same thread. Jedediah, you also mentioned that we should be consistent. With what we know, we should have a principle and stick to it. But in terms of the business model or the medium that we do our business, how can we be consistent in that? For example, if we are fully brick and mortar, or we had a little survey just now, and most of the businesses are right in the middle. They've got some e-commerce aspect, online aspect, some things that are very much physical, or you have it on screen. Yeah, so some things are very much physical. But what if you're in a business that is leaning more towards the physical store? How do you go about that? I mean, I'm sure you've heard of the trend, like in the States, right? There are a lot more retail stores, shopping malls that are closing down. And there was already this trend that was in place, and COVID just made everything worse, and actually expedited a lot of things in terms of the malls closing. And for us here in Malaysia, we've got this mall, SS2 Mall. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, Jedidiah. But yeah, sorry, not recently, maybe about 2-3 years ago, it closed down completely because of lack of traffic. So, what would your advice be to be consistent and yet be able to thrive in current market conditions?
Yeah, that's a good question to consider for, especially for physical stores and physical. Not everybody are familiar with the online space, and sometimes the online space can be quite scary. And even online space, there's no guarantee that would mean your store to thrive. Sometimes it may mean that you may be more stressed out operating an online store than a physical store. Now, that's why we go back to the first principle. What is it that you're trying to create? What's one problem you're trying to solve in your market? So we begin in that in mind. What is the problem you're trying to solve in your market? What is the solution you're bringing to the market that people need? So there's two components. What do people need? What do people want? What do people need are the essential things. What do people want are the things that add layers on. So if your business is built around what people want, in times of crisis, they may not need the want. They will need the needs, right? So in terms of crisis, you will still need the needs, but you may not need the wants. So one of the key consideration is this, right? Entertainment, for example, the whole cinema industry is now on freeze, right? Which has repercussion. That means all your actors, your actresses, the filmmakers, and everybody is all affected. So because they are what we want, not necessarily what we need. The massage places, the spa, they are what we want, not what we need. So my question to you is this: if you're holding true to yourself and you say, okay, I want to improve the wellness of people's life, I want to have my spa, I want to have my massage space, my physical space, and are you okay? Are you ready in the event where people shift their taste, or forced to shift their taste from a one economy to a need economy? Are you willing to shift that? So being flexible in the face of trials and adversity is going to be really, really, really helpful. So think about this. It's really like an art of war. You're preparing for the long strategy, but you have a short-term goal and short-term strategy that will help you put in place items, put in place situations, and put in place roadblocks to prevent you from actually falling over. So to me, I would always ask companies to think about this. How many of you here who have running a business have actually run simulations, or what we call tabletop exercises, for worst case scenario? So for example, in my company, I always run worst case scenarios, right? For example, if this were to happen because of this economy, what do we do? How do we prepare for ourselves for it? If that were to happen, what are we going to do, right? If let's say we get into a bad partnership, what are some possible outcomes that we can go about? If this happens, what happens? So sometimes having this simulation will help us think about possible contingency plans, so that when the things happen, and things happen, or things don't happen the way it should happen, and we're not happy, then how do we approach that, right? So one of the things I always say, have a playbook, have your own business playbook. In the US, they had this playbook for the crisis like this, right? Pandemic playbook, but they didn't activate it fast enough. And the playbook is going to be important, because in times of peace, in times of tranquility, it's when we have time to think about all these different playbooks option. So your playbook, your business playbook, will be an option plan for you. If this all the different scenarios, all the different crises, the worst situation that will happen, what will you do? If let's say, for example, in my business, my worst situation is if I can operate, right? If I'm in a hospital, who's going to run my business? Who's going to be supporting that? So I need to have plans in mind, because that is what we call business continuity plan, right? Or business contingency planning. So your business continuity plan is one of the most important things as you're thinking about for your physical stores, and not just physical stores, but for your virtual stores as well. What is your business continuity plan? The day if you cannot operate, if you are the one who is doing everything, you are the actor, you're the director, you are the showman. So sometimes we call this in Chinese, 自导自演自拍, right? So you're everything in one, right? So you are that bottleneck. If one day you cannot operate, then what will happen to the business? So we want to put in place necessary contingency plans. If things were to happen, you can take out the playbook, or someone can take out the playbook to prepare you and prepare your business to take the next leap forward. Before the pandemic, I always run live classes. So I fly around different parts of the world to do live classes. And in a moment of like days, I got to purchase all the online equipment. I got to purchase every single thing, which we never expect to do it so fast. So we have to learn to adapt. So the second thing is important is your mindset, to be adaptable. So for example, if I always believe, okay, I must always be physical, no matter what happens, I'll just remain physical, then you have a fixed mindset. So my principle is not saying that you should stay here or should stay there. Go back to your first principle. What is your outcome? What's your greatest outcome for yourself and for your business? And then set in place your playbook, and then also allow yourself to have some flexibility in terms of your mindset, in terms of how you're going to approach when situations arise.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah, have a playbook. Wow, that's something new to me. Even have something that you can always fall back to, and you can refer when you want to go to the next phase of your business. So I've got a very practical question here, and maybe you can give us some guides and handles. So how do we know which is the suitable and right space for my business? Is there a certain assessment you can do, or like, I mean, there's all sorts of people here in our audience, all everyone from bankers to lawyers to doctors to startups, in various industries. So how do you know which space is right for you?
Okay, so that's a very practical question. I'll give you a very practical answer. The right space will be the space where the fishes are. The right space will be the space where the fishes are. So for example, if you're on the online space or you're the offline space, where are your fishes? Where are the people around you? So we're talking about this pool of ocean of creatures, or your clients, your potential clients, or your potential clients of clients, right? Your second referrals. So where are they residing? Where are they on Facebook? Are they spending their time on TikTok? Are they spending their time on email? Do they open a desktop more often? How do you like? So what I want you to do is to get into the lens of your prospective fishes. Get into the lens of them. Where are they swimming? Perhaps you've been fishing in the wrong ocean. No wonder you're not getting the right fish, right? So if your people are all on Facebook, then my suggestion to you is to get online. But if your people are, like, for example, the aunties and uncles who are not on Facebook, they enjoy, just going to the physical mall to touch and feel, then I will align my business strategy around that, because there's still a market for them. There's a lot of people who don't have internet access. There are a lot of people who are avoiding internet as well. So if that is your market, great. If your market is B2B, where are the fishes? Where are they residing? Right? So think about them. I would think about my fishes in terms of their psychology, their emotions, their physiology, their buying habits, and their buying patterns. And from where they are, then I would choose the right medium, because that is where I know they will be. Now, even in the right medium, I'll do some testing, because in the same freshwater pond, I could have different temperatures. I could have different acidity of the pond, which can affect different kinds of species. For example, I don't want to end up in a space where my fishes are there, but there are other sharks or other crocodiles. How do I create my own little blue ocean or my own little blue pond that I will be the only one there, the most logical choice for the people over there? Yeah? So think about your fish, think about, and see it from their own lens, and that will help you to decide which medium will be the best.
All right, thank you, Jedidiah. Yep, go where the fishes are. Be like a true fisherman, only in the digital sense, right?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for that, Jedidiah. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, we've got a couple more questions. Maybe some specific questions. So someone here says, oh, this is by Daniel. So he says he's got a product, a line of product on the Amazon platform, and he has run multiple campaigns on that platform, but his business is still in the red as the campaigns are quite costly. So is there a way to turn things around? And well, maybe Daniel, if you can just drop us a line and say maybe what product is it, and also maybe for Jedidiah, what is your understanding of Amazon? I mean, do you know anything about Amazon? Because to me, it's a very mainly American thing. I think for us here in Asia, there's a lot Shopee and Lazada, but yeah, over to you, Jedidiah.
So whether you're actually putting a business on Amazon FBA, most likely what I'm hearing you're probably doing Amazon FBA or one form of another, or affiliate marketing for Amazon, or if you're doing your own Shopify store, e-commerce store, Shopee, Lazada, or Baidu, or whichever store you're on. The first principle, it's always to think about, are you familiar with the audience, their buying habits, their patterns, what they want? So in Amazon, most of the buyers are in the US or Europe, and you have Amazon also in Japan. I mean, Singapore people do buy from Amazon as well, but it's not the popular thing, right? The sizable amount, but not popular. So will I be targeting in Singapore? Unlikely, because I will not get the quantity there. So where will my target audience be? In the US, and why? Because in the US, the buying habits is this: the space is so huge, people won't travel so far to a mall. Because with Amazon, I'll just stay at home and just click and order, and people deliver to my house. So then the next question is the product they're selling a direct drop shipping from AliExpress or is it your own personal brand? They are two different. If it's from AliExpress, how do you validate the quality of the product? How do you validate the logistics of product? Or are you buying that product and putting it with Amazon? Amazon stores the inventory for you, and how do you ensure that the quality or the branding for your store will be there? So if your store is in red, there's a few components that you need to check. One, it's the product itself, because if the product is not selling, is there a market for that? Or number two, are you actually marketing to the right audience? If you're using Facebook, have you tried testing audience? So what I like to do when I first did when I did my first e-commerce stores, I like to do A/B testings or ABCDEFG testings with a singular product and test the audience and the response that I get from them. Is that something that people want? Is that something that people are looking for? And what are the buying habits and patterns, especially from different states? So if you're targeting in the US, you cannot just target the whole US. You'll be targeting at certain states, and do you understand the states' patterns and what do they buy? What do they love buying? What do they love purchasing? If it's dog food, if it's cat food, if it's cat, structures and everything, what are they looking for? Now, if you're going to the rate and you find that you have not enough money to spend more in your marketing dollars and cents, then the second option you can do is to do the guerrilla style marketing, which is get into groups. Facebook, there's a lot of groups online that's free. Right, get into the groups, join the Facebook marketplace, join that local county, that local state marketplace, and interact with people. Let them know that you have this product that's online. That's one. The second thing you can do affiliates, right? Partner with influencers who may require that. Now, then the next question, I need to pay my influencer. So how do we afford that? I got no money anymore. Well, you can do a negotiation. You can just tell the influencer, well, if this product gets sold, I'll give you a portion of it. So that's another example. Now, if it's continue bleeding and going in rate, then my next question to you is that, would this still be a viable business for you? Do you have the cash flow required for you to sustain in the long run? Amazon FBA is not something for everyone because it requires a lot of effort and also requires you to find the right product and the right product mix for your client, because a lot of products out there. But if you find the right product and you find the right system and the right inventory flow, you make a very good case for it, right? And if you have the original product, that's something as well that's going to be really useful for you. Now, is it possible to make money from it? Yes, it is, but it requires a lot of hard work because finding the right product and matching the right product to the right audience require a lot of cost. So if you look at the general costing, the product percentage and the total profitability margin, it's a big question I'll ask. Are you spending so much in terms of marketing dollars that your profitable margin is being like almost close to zero or negative? If that's the case, then would this still be a viable business for you, or could you take that the whatever that's left in terms of your cash flow into something else, or into the same platform, or into something similar to get the cash flow? So to me, the first thing is, how do I get my cash flow in as quickly as possible if I'm in the rate? Yeah.
All right.
So hopefully
Yeah.
that helps.
Thank you.
For the,
Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah. At least it's some education on that. So know your market, right? I guess that goes to show. And I guess like COVID-19, testing. So test your market, test your audience. Yeah. Thanks for that. We've probably got a little bit more time for a couple of questions. Maybe a few more things that are more personal. So maybe for you, Jedidiah, what are some of the most profound lessons that you've learned in having your own business, and some of the things that you wish you would have learned earlier in life?
Well, one thing is to just be curious and explore. That's one thing. And which I had earlier was to find the right coaches, right business mentors, and not jump into that sexy new thing. Because I was one of those people who get into, oh, this is the next internet e-commerce thing. Let's jump into it and let's go into Shopify. Let's go into that. So I got into all these kind of things before. This allure of it's going to be fast, right? We get a store up, it's going to be easy, find the right product, let's go and sell. So that was the allure. So when I first started, I started with selling clothes online. Back then we had, and I had my board games company as well. So it's all getting into e-commerce. So one of the things that I didn't realize was the strategy, that I needed a strategy and I needed to understand the market well. That's one. And I also needed to understand the resources that I have. If I only had $1,000, should I be doing that? Or should I use that $1,000 for something else, right? And so getting the right advice, getting the right business coach, and getting someone to bounce the idea off you is going to be very key, especially if you have limited cash. One thing you want to get clear is because whatever you invest in needs to produce the results for you, right? We don't want to be in a situation where we become desperate for the money, and then we end up making the wrong decisions. To me, if I go into rate and I have no choice, I have another option. Go and get an employed job, right? I can work in McDonald's, I can work in anywhere else, and then make money back again, and then start my hustle again. So there's no shame for business to restart again. I've done it before, right? I tried my business, it failed, then I go and work as a consultant and work as a coach full time, and then come back out again, right? So I know for when I was young, I wanted to start my own business, but I just watching YouTubes and everything. So don't believe everything on YouTube. So that's one of the lessons I learned. Don't believe everything on YouTube. Don't believe everything what internet marketers say, because it may be true for them. They may have done it, but you are you, right? In your context, you have a unique context, you have your unique local proposition that may be very different from how they are living. So what you're experiencing now may be different from how they're experiencing. So really bounce your ideas off a coach, bounce your idea off a community who can support you, and evaluate for yourself what are the available resources you have at the moment. So today you see a lot of ads online telling you, oh, you can start a business with $0. You can buy properties with $0. It's not entirely true, right? It's not entirely true that you can start with $0. There will still need to be some form of resources, your time, and your time or your days of your time is actually money, because who's going to pay for the food? Who's going to pay for the petrol? Who's going to pay for that, right? So there still needs to be some form of this. So you need to calculate for yourself practically, is it something doable for you? Is it something achievable for you? If it's not, and you cannot see a clear, return of the cash coming into you, then perhaps that business is something that you might want to consider, reconsider again, right? So to me, if you're starting off at a very initial stage, think about the cash flow, very, very important. In the medium to long-term stage as well, if you're looking at scaling a business as well, don't rush into scaling a business, because the last thing you want is scale too fast and only having to sack people or only having to downsize people, and that's going to be bad, right? And you lose the company culture. So every stage of the way, there needs to be a balance, there needs to be a measure, and needs to be a reevaluation of your resources and how effectively you employ them. So to me, important thing, it's always get a business coach, get someone you can trust and you can work with. That's going to help you a lot.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Jedidiah. Okay, maybe just one question to close. So you've spoken a lot about finding a good coach or mentor so that you don't just jump into the next fad. How can we do that effectively? How can we find a good coach or mentor that will be able to coach and mentor us in business?
Okay, so this is a practical question. Find someone that you can resonate with. Not necessarily must be someone from the West or someone from the East. All right, talk to someone that it doesn't have to be someone who's famous. And oftentimes, famous person may not know what you're actually going through. So find someone who has in the same similar industry as you, who has explored some of the areas that can coach you, and someone who's willing, and you find a resonating effect with them. Have a call with them. You know, most business coaches, they would enjoy having a call with you, understanding what your real problems is. And once you have that call with them, then sit down and evaluate for yourself. Is that coach, going to help you clearly, right? And have a few calls with different coaches. Talk to them, talk to different people, right? Understand them, and find one coach that can help you to get clarity in terms of your mind. To me, my assessment for the coach is there a coach that can help me get clear of what I'm thinking about? Is that coach able to challenge me, not tell me what I want to hear, but challenge me in my thinking, push me, hold me accountable for my progress, and sometimes tell me the blatant truth, right? Tell him, like, hey, I think you better close on this shop. Just go and start something else, right? Now, we need that kind of coach who can be real with us, who can be in partnership with us. I think that's going to be very, very important.
All right, all right. Thank you, Jedidiah. Thank you so much for sharing with that. Yeah, let's resonate with our coach and let's find a good coach. Thank you so much. Because of time, I think I better close it here. Thanks again, Jedidiah, for joining us all the way from Singapore. Thank you for taking your time out to be with us and just sharing your experience, sharing your insights. And I'm sure many of the principles are very much relatable here in Malaysia. So thank you, thank you, Jedidiah. Why don't we all give Jedidiah a Zoom clap? You can give him a reaction, a good, a thumbs up or a clap. Yeah, thanks, Jedidiah, for being with us. We've come to the end of the talk for today, but let me just remind us that we'll have another business talk next week on the 4th of June, and it's up on your screen. This is Christopher Erickson. He's the founding partner of Human Inc. And he's going to be talking about empathy in action, using design thinking to drive post-crisis growth. So if you've not heard of this concept called design thinking, come and join this talk. It'll be something very interesting. It's something that I recently heard about myself, and I find it quite interesting. So do sign up at the link. I believe it will be open even right now. So go ahead and sign up as soon as you can. That's on Thursday. And then on Friday, we're going to have what we call a live talk. It's just questions about life. So the question this live talk is, why do bad things happen to good people? Why do bad things happen to good people? This is going to be on Friday, 8 to 9 p.m. And we're going to have our very own director of Workplace at the River, Dr. Wong Sam Kyong, who is also a fellow in ARZIM, Ravi Zacharias International Ministries. So do sign up for this talk as well. Do invite your friends, and you can sign up at the link tiny.cc/waterlifetalk. All right, and do sign up even right now because I believe it's going to be open. Also, we're going to have this talk practically every week. So if you'd like to connect with us, if you'd like any support from us whatsoever, or you'd like to get in touch with us or find out more about the workplace and Workplace at the River, what we do, and some of the initiatives we are in, do log on and connect with us at this link, tiny.cc/waterconnect, and you can drop your questions, drop your contact details, and we would love to connect with you. We'd love to link you with some of our contacts as well. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Joel. I'm part of the team here at Workplace at the River, and I'm so glad you could join us this evening. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye-bye.